Men, how are you today? This is Chase Gick, founder of Divorce to Dominance, here just spreading some thoughts today, trying to, give help to a space that when I was going through my divorce, I didn't find any help. So hopefully things I share here are going to, help make that journey quicker, speed up the recovery process, and hopefully, bring some clarity to what is normally just the typical advice that everyone kind of regurgitates. It's just coming from me, somebody who went through this, and what I've learned along the way. But today, really, I kind of want to just give like an overview, more of an overview of what it is, like how things have been going, kind of wrapped up into one package, which, as time goes on, I'll dive into each little section a little deeper. But just, sometimes having a bigger picture of the overall, environment's helpful in the beginning to kind of feel like a roadmap almost. Maybe not so much a point to point to point to destination, but to understand what it is that's actually happening. From there, I want to make sure that everyone understands what they can kind of expect and how my journey went. So, what I've learned in this last, 2 years of, going through my divorce and trying to figure out what that is and, what it's been is, on a bigger picture, it's really just knowing that, life in general, especially life post-divorce as a man, it's really the goal is to stack skills. It's to build a skill set to be able to bring you to your ultimate self, to what your ultimate goal is as an individual. Now, that goal's, different for everybody. There is no one similar goal to anybody. It's just that, as a human, you're meant to be here to grow and to help the greater good. So you need to figure out how you can do that. For me, it was just one of those things when I finally realized that, if I was able to stack these skills in a strategic way that I could get to my final goal or at least be in the right direction, that was one of the biggest helping points for me. It helped me kind of structure everything in a space that, really had no structure. That the only thing I was given was, keep your head down, get back to work, get in the rut. Sometimes you just gotta get through it. That sucks. It's not good advice. It's too broad. I had no action steps. So for me, looking back on day one, allowing myself to feel the feelings, of course, but to understand that that's only a finite thing. I'm only going to allow myself so much time to feel those feelings. But from there, what do I want? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And why do I want to be that person? So I really had to take some serious time. And once I finally got to there, again, this took time. But if I was talking to my, 2 years ago self, I would have started this immediately. And that would have been introspection into what is it that I like? What do I like to do? What makes me feel alive? When am I my happiest? Those aren't questions that get answered immediately by any means. Hopefully you have a couple, answers there to kind of start with, something of a foundation. Because some sort of starting point, surely there's one thing that can, for me, one of the biggest things was my kids. I knew that my time with them was one of the happiest things that made me. And, so that was my starting off point. Another one was just helping people, which again, that goes back to human nature. Helping the greater good. I knew that. So I started building from there. And again, I don't know what your starting point's going to be. It could be a physical activity. It could be, some sort of like journaling. It could be running. It could be hiking. Even the thought process, the deep thought process, meditations, anything, literally, just something that brings you joy and that relaxes you. So from there, I started building because I knew at that point though too, that okay, so I want to be this human for my children, which is what makes me the happiest. And I want to do that by helping others. Well, one of the biggest things, would be just, okay, let me start from there. How can I be around my kids more? How can I allocate more time for them? Well, it was by being more deliberate. It was by, which just may not be a big thing, because I know at times I fell slave to this a few times, was, I didn't work the overtime. Anytime overtime came up, I said no. No thanks. No more. I'm working my hours and that's it. And once that decision was made, it was very easy, which did allocate a lot of time. I've been able to pick my kids up from the bus. I'm the first one there. It allows me that time freedom, because I don't have to call around, hey, can I come later to pick them up? Hey, can I do this? Hey, can I do that? And yeah, that is cut into the funds originally when I first started doing that. But man, I was happier. So that was step one for me. And that, again, can be anything for you. How can you allocate more time, or how can you create more time, really, from what it is you're doing? So that's getting a little too pointed, but like as an overview, still, just once you start creating that time, start building those skills. So like I said, if it's just gardening, okay, well, if you've never gardened before, but you enjoy it, and you like the thought of growing your own fruits and vegetables, or even just the plants around your house, even if it's just flowers and bushes and everything else, making it look better. Learn. Take the time to learn. Go online, look up YouTube videos, find a local class, which would be one of the best things. Interaction, truly getting your hands on it. And then from there, it's feeling it out along the way. As I start to learn these skills, okay, well, what's the next skill I need to learn in this space? Okay, well, let's just take the gardening for aspect. Okay, I'm starting to learn about gardening itself. What do I need to do next? Well, I need to start doing the thing, which in this case, for example, would be gardening. I don't know how big your yard is. Even if it's small, go in your backyard, till up a small little piece, work some dirt, plant some things, start taking care of it. That's the next skill. Okay, how do I even plant something? You learn that skill. Stack that on top of the knowledge that you're getting. And from there, it's just literally one step at a time. From there, how do I take care of this plant specifically? When do I water it? How do I know when to water it? Just start learning and learning and learning. And just each one of those skills stack on top of each other over and over and over. And again, as arbitrary as this might sound, as I'm talking about random things like gardening, it's amazing when you start to find even that one thing that you truly, truly enjoy. And if you can start diving into that and start really expressing yourself through that, it's amazing. And let me be clear too about something else. As you're starting to learn these skills and starting to navigate this space, don't feel like you're stuck in that one. Like if, stick with the gardening. If you start with that and it's just, you go to that class, hey, damn, this is boring as hell. This isn't as fun as I thought it'd be. Then there's nothing keeping you there. There's nothing saying you have to finish. You didn't sign a year-long contract, hopefully, but you can stop. You understand that, okay, you know what, maybe this isn't what I thought it was. Then you can go on to the next one. You can start to feel it out again. What else makes me happy? Start to dive into it. Start to build these skills as who you can be to be that better human, to bring you to that end goal, which is hopefully making you happy daily, to have the fulfilled life, which in turn can help your fellow humans. And again, no matter what path you go, all of these skills stack. Every single one of them stack. Even the ones in a totally different section that you may not have thought meant a thing, I'd be willing to bet anything that skill in that space over there will be useful over here. Even if it's not, picking up the shovel and digging the dirt, and all of a sudden you end up over here in, computer coding of some sort. Maybe just the physical act of going out and sticking to it and doing the work is the skill that gets brought over here. Sticking to it, doing the work. There's so many levels of these skills that stack. Just so many of them. So don't get too caught up on the overall. So kind of one more layer into this here. So now that as we're talking about those skills and starting to talk about, trying to ultimately find the purpose, ultimately trying to, build that fulfilling life, the one that makes you feel good. As you're starting to stack these skills and understand that the biggest thing in all this is aggressive action. It's all of a sudden, if you think this thing is something you enjoy or you like or you think it'll make you happy, go after it. Go after it. Don't spend time thinking about it and, oh man, maybe it's this, and understanding why it probably won't work and how you don't have time to stop all that. Just go do it. And I don't want to leave this as just go do it. I want to get a little more pointed because that's too broad. That's what most people will tell you, and that's what I hated. Any example, jump online instantly. Start learning. Start learning about it. The ins and the outs. How, what does it do? What does it mean? Because if you don't know enough about it, you need to learn the basics. I mean, we have everything on our phones and on our computers right there on the internet. Start looking it up. And honestly, if you know somebody personally, or even if you don't know them personally, and there's a business of that sort in your, in your city, in your town, in your neighborhood, whatever that may be, go there, learn about it. It's just you want to be engulfed by it. You want to get yourself involved in it and see how you feel. Again, starting with the internet, starting with your phone. Check it out. Look at videos. See what it's all about. See if you can find a day in the life of video. And man, if that just seems like it's something you'd like to do, then take that next step. Depending on what it is, there might be a club. There might be a local gym that does the thing. There might be a business that does exactly what it is you think you might be interested in. Get involved. Take that step and do it today. When you feel that feeling, do it. Do it right away. When you have that free time, do it. Don't tell yourself, okay, yeah, perfect. Here it is. It's Tuesday. Okay, I got some time Saturday. Yeah, so Saturday I'll start, and then next week I'll start to really, really think about it. No, man. Today. If you're listening to podcasts, listen to this video, anything, and you're at work and you have your headphones in, if that's allowed, make a note real quick. Note. Man, boy, that sounds good. I'm going to do that literally on my lunch break. Right after work. If I don't have to be literally somewhere immediately after work, I'm going to take whatever that little gap of time is that I'm either driving home and, I'm going to listen to a video about that specific thing on my way home. Or let's say you get home, and honestly what a lot of people do is, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to relax. I'm going to give myself, a half hour to an hour. I'm going to relax, watch some YouTube, do some random things that just has nothing to do with anything. Well, if you're doing that anyways, consume that content. Consume that content. That's a very easy lever to move. You're going home. You're going to sit down. You're going to watch random things anyways, or do nothing, or take a nap. Who knows? But just consume the content. Start absorbing it. Absorb it. Try to feel it out. But again, it's that aggressive action. It's the day of. And if you have it the moment of, then do it the moment of. Because listen, why put off till tomorrow what you can do today? And even better yet, why put off later today what you can do right now? That should be the focus. The closer you can get it to right now, I mean, it's amazing how much better you feel. It's incredible. And again, if I could have told myself this on day one, it would have been hard. I'm not going to lie. But just having that structure, knowing that, and hearing it from somebody that's been through it would have been massive for me. And it would have been able to start my journey that much quicker. So, again, aggressive action. And as you're absorbing that content, if you're doing it through your phone especially, it might take you a minute, but turn the speed up. On YouTube especially, hit the settings button, turn it up. It goes from normal to 1.25 to 1.5 to 1.75 to 2 times. I listen to everything on 2x now. Everything. Because I want to absorb as much as I can. But the key to that is easing into it and understanding I'm going to aggressively go after each one of these skills as fast as I can, but making sure that I'm able to absorb the information. Now, if you find yourself, which is what I had to do, but if you find yourself listening to content and information, whether that's books, whether that's, YouTube videos or anything, speeches, when you go a couple minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, maybe, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, I zoned out. All this just kind of sounds like noise. You have to stop. You have to rewind to the point to where you remember, slow it down. Because it really is important. You have to be absorbing it. Otherwise, it's doing nothing. Otherwise, it's more just arbitrary stuff throughout your day, which is probably what's happening anyways. So again, these skills that you're trying to get, it's aggressive, it's fast, but only as fast as you can go to be able to understand what's happening and learn. So really, that's kind of the ultimate overview there, because as you're learning it, it's about implementing it too. So once you've hit a point, okay, this feels like something I want to go after. This feels like something that I enjoy. Go after it. Implement it. Do it. Do the thing. Again, for me personally, it was my kids. How can I be with them more? And how can I make sure that every moment with them is, the best that I can make it? Not only for them as far as, energy and happiness, but, learning. Making sure that as I'm with them, I'm able to transfer anything and everything that I'm learning along the way down to them. And that does include my marriage pre-divorce. It helps, me structure times when I'm talking to them, even at their young ages. I mean, you're talking at this current moment, I got a 4-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 12-year-old. So, I mean, they're still young, but the 12-year-old, I'm dripping these little pieces to him. I'm helping him hopefully see what I didn't. Nobody had those talks with me. They had the basic talks. They had the basic, happy wife, happy life. And the man does this and the woman does this. And it was all so blanketed. And sometimes you just got to put your head down and go through the mud. And man, he's just not going to have that. He is not going to have that. None of them are. None of the 3 of my kids are going to have that experience. They will have advice and they will have action steps. They will know what steps to take to fulfill their life. And hopefully the skills that I have learned over time, I can hopefully stack those up good enough for them that they're not starting from the bottom. That they can then acquire all those skills that I have and just start from there. And hopefully I can give them that boost. And that was how I knew what made me happy was I need to acquire as many skills as I can to make myself the best human for them, but also to give them that leg up, to help them understand how to navigate a world of, nothing but distraction and confusion. That's it. So if I can keep them centered and hopefully help them in a direction, that's the goal. Yeah, they're going to zigzag through that direction, but the direction of fulfillment and living a good life and happiness in whatever form that means for them, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing daily. And through that, just helping my fellow human is what I'm doing here. Is just helping. I want to make sure that the information that I did not have, somebody else has. I only wish I would have done it sooner, but honestly, I couldn't have. I couldn't have done it any sooner because I would have been extremely unsure. But hopefully anybody going through the same thing that I did of feeling extremely lost in those first couple days or those first couple weeks can start to put a plan together, can start to see a path, again, in a direction. And hopefully it helps. So that's all I have for you today. Again, that was just an overview. Some of the things I'm going to get more pointed on as time goes. I'm going to try to build this thing in a way that can walk you through it, can hopefully help you build each one of these things as you go. And again, it's literally everything I've learned along the way, from the people I've met, the time I've spent, the money I've spent, uh, everything, all of it, only to hopefully help you guys. All right, well, let's have a good day, boys. Let's go and win the day. Hopefully this is something that helps you. But other than that, again, push towards your goals. Push towards your life. Your future is what you need to focus on. Because, again, this is your new life now. All right, guys. See ya.